Hi, so I am on here today talking about comparison because I know it is one of the things that gets in our way as creative human beings. It throws us off track, it takes us backwards, it gets in the way. I'm Brian Patacca, and if you haven't met with me before or talked to me or checked out my stuff before, I think you're really gonna dig this because it is about using comparison as a compass to help us, using comparison as a way to get us out of the trap that it usually leads us into, and actually using it as a way to propel us forward as opposed to keep us in a fear-based paralysis of thinking everyone has it but me. So if you're joining me on Instagram right now, you might want to pop on over to the Facebook group because there's a whole slideshow to go with this. Just join the Brian Patacca Facebook page or one of my Facebook groups, getmorecommunity.com. Those of you who are watching this now, wherever you're watching this, I'm really glad that you're here because I can't wait to talk more about this so that we can crack the code on comparison getting in the way. So you can't see me if you're on Facebook because I am giving you a slideshow. So stay with me as we go through this process because I know this is going to help you when you're scrolling Instagram, when things are getting in your way. So let me do this with you. This quote really meant something to me. We won't be distracted by comparison if we are captivated with purpose. So this means a lot to me, and I think that the system I'm going to give you today, this is a training really, this training on dealing with comparison is going to give you a way to step out of the paralysis the comparison creates and move you into action and also recognize yourself again. So comparison, right? It stops you in your tracks and can even drag you backwards. What I believe is that comparison slows down our ability to move forward in our true calling. And it's because we just don't have a system to deal with it or a system to work through it. So the etymology of the word comparison is equal, match, resemblance, similarity, or to make equal with, liken, bring together for a contest, act of putting two things together and regarding them as equal. So this was really important to me to look at this etymology of the word comparison because what we see here is it's really about a way to compare two equals and look at them. And I love that basis of it being around equality. And what I also think is important is to look at when this word came to be. It was in the 14th century. There were political and natural disasters all over Europe. That's where this word came from, Romance languages. And as we think about this, like in a time when it is really, really wreaking havoc, there's panic, there's not money, there's political disaster, there's natural stuff, not terribly different than the way you might see 2019. It would seem very logical that as human beings, we might start to look at the other person and see the haves and the have-nots and start to stack ourselves up against each other. So I think it's really interesting to think about how this word came from that time period as human beings. That's when the word was born out of that kind of crisis and chaos. So another way to think about the word definition is to represent as similar or to examine the character or qualities of especially in order to discover resemblances or differences. So again, comparison is a way for us to find the similarities and the differences. We tend to use it as a place to say how different something is. I'm looking at someone's 10 and evaluating my own life from its number 1 right now. Right? If you're over here on Instagram and you're frustrated because you can't see the slides, pop on over to Facebook and you'll be able to see them on any of my pages. All right, so here's a picture, right? I have talked to many of my clients who will say like, Instagram makes me crazy. I want to turn this on its head. I really want to revive this. And imagine that this photo, this thing, this man with all the money, this woman with all the money and all the power and the perfect body and the working out all the time and having the perfect yogurt and the parfait and their celery juice and all that, that those are actually saints that are assigned expressly to you. And the reason why I'm saying this is I really want you to think about the idea of a saint. This is not religious in any way, but if you think about in the way that saints, how we use them, a saint is a intercession. It's something to take the divine message and deliver it to you. A more, shall we say, palatable way to digest a divine message. So what if these photos or these things that mix us up or get us into comparison mode are actually there to wake us up and show us the direction we need to be taken? So let me show you this system. So in case you don't know me, I'm Brian Patacca. I work with all kinds of creative types of people, including actors as a big part of my audience, but I also work with anybody who is trying to create their own business or trying to make their own thing or stepping out on their own, particularly creative people, because I know inspiration is a big part of what we do. And in incubating that inspiration is what I do well. So let me give you my definition of comparison. Comparison is a knee-jerk reaction to attractive, this is my definition again, a knee-jerk reaction to attractive stimulus that provokes judgment and self-hate. That's how, when you talk about comparison, this is what I think most people are talking about when they're talking about comparison. They're talking to that reaction that they get when it's just like, I want that, or why does she have that, and they don't like themselves in that moment. And I think it's really important for us to have definitions in our lives. Brené Brown talks about this, because then it gets us a way to step away from it, right? We are not that definition, but we may behave within that definition. So a knee-jerk reaction to attractive stimulus that provokes judgment and self-hate. That's how I define comparison, how it really lands on the inside. Now, I really want to talk about this being a saint assigned expressly to you, that this comparison thing, here's Joan of Arc, right? So this idea of comparison is, again, there to help you get more on your path, to help you show more of what you desire, right? So first step in this 5-part system. This is an acronym. So a saint assigned expressly to you. The S in this acronym is for siren. So when you see that thing, that picture, that word, that story you hear that's like, oh my gosh, I want that. Why did she get that? How did he get that? I want to look like that. When you hear that thing go off, you've got to first let that siren hit you. You've got to get that siren of like, oh shoot, I'm in it. I'm in my comparison thing. I don't like it, but I just know I'm in it right now. You gotta acknowledge that the siren has gone off. We need that piece of acknowledgement before we can step into the next steps of this system. So S is for siren. So you see the photo, oh, I'm in it. I notice that I'm in it, right? I'm captured. Now from that siren, we go into one of my favorite parts of this process, which immediately, you have that stimulus and you immediately go into, I'm just gonna throw love at that person. I'm just going to learn to adore them. I'm going to find a way to simply adore them in that moment. What do I adore about them? So I'm going to walk through kind of something that might happen to me. So I might be on Instagram and, you know, I have a coaching business. I'm excited about having people thrive in their businesses, and that's where I want to spend my time, is helping people to do that. So I might see someone on Instagram who's got this fabulous, you know, way of attracting clients to help them in their businesses, and it looks beautiful and the pictures are amazing and it looks like they're being a speaker all over town, and I'm totally triggered. So I get that siren that goes off, and then the next thing I do is I say, okay, what do I love about this person? The next question, that adoration stage, what do I love about this person? And so that might mean, I love that they work with creative people. I love that they're really putting themselves out there. I love that, I know it took tons of work to put this together. I know, I love about them that they're brave in this way. I love about them that they believe in themselves. I just throw love at them after that siren goes off. So S is for siren, A is for adore. So you begin to just adore them, find what you can love about them. And then the I in saint is inquire. So then you start to get curious. Siren went off, I threw adoration at them, and now I'm just going to get curious. What do I wonder about them? Gee, I wonder how long it took them to put this post together. Gee, I wonder how long their business has been around. Wow, what kind of people do they work with? Or where are they from? How old do I think they are? Just lighting up that curiosity so that I in saint is inquire. You know, knock on that door to begin to learn a little bit more about them. So it's not just that face level what you start with, right? So again, you're starting off with a siren going off. You've suddenly noticed that you're in the grips of comparison. You throw adoration at them. Then you light up that curiosity as you inquire about them. You start to ask questions. As you ask the questions, you're going to stumble into N, which is news. What's the news you're getting about them as you ask the questions? As you ask the question, you know, how old are they? Or I wonder what got them started, or where are they from? Or I bet this took them a long time to put one of these things together. You start to get some answers because you're a smart, intelligent person, and you're going to have some ideas of where these answers came from, right? You're going to get some ideas of where did this come from? How did they decide to do this? How did they create their business? You're going to start to get answers from the world because your intuition is going to lead you there. So just to kind of recap the system so far, the siren goes off when you see the stimulus. You start to just throw adoration and love at them. You find something to love about them. Then you get curious. You start to just ask some questions and allow for the news to come to you. I've asked some questions and suddenly I'm getting some information because I've asked the questions. Just I'm getting it on my own, or maybe I've been doing a little research to learn some more. And then the last step, the T in the SAINT system, is to take action. And so maybe, you know, I saw that thing that some coach has on their Instagram and it's making me crazy and I've lost it and I'm in my siren stage, and then I just throw adoration at them. And then I start to just ask some questions. I get an inquiry about it, and then I get my news. And now I go, oh, wow, it looks like this funnel that they use to create this Instagram post is a website. Whoa, look, what's this website and how did it help them to create that? Or, oh my gosh, she's from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. I wonder if we went to the same high school. Oh, maybe there's a way for us to partner. Maybe I want to connect with her to see if there's a way to collaborate. Or maybe I got some news that was like, wow, this took a lot of work, and do I want to do that? So even the T, which is take action in the SAINT system, might be to be still, to just be with what you've learned in that moment. So as you think about the SAINT system, right, to deal with comparison, the first step is know, acknowledge, and be aware that the siren has gone off. You are in comparison. It's making you crazy. You don't like yourself in that moment. You're getting jealous and envious. Ick, ick, ick. The siren has gone off. Okay, great. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to adore them. I'm just going to throw adoration and love at them and find things to love about them. And as I've gotten more safe being with them, I'm going to start to ask questions. I'm going to get curious. This is my inquiry in the SAINT acronym, right? I'm going to start to ask questions. You know, I wonder where they're from, and you ask questions. And then from the questions, you're going to get some news. You're going to learn something. You're just going to kind of, oh, wow, I'm getting this from that. Or, oh, I want to do a little research on that. Interesting. So you're going to take in that news. And the last step is you're taking action. So that taking action is where it's going to propel you into your purpose, because what this SAINT system does is it gets you to acknowledge that when I'm in comparison, I'm noticing a place where I might be playing small in my life. Or I'm noticing a place, oh crap, comparison is a place that points me to my true desires. So when we have these stories around like, what is my purpose? Comparison can be one of our tools. Rather than thinking comparison as something that keeps us small, use it in this way, using the SAINT system to dig deeper into what it can offer you. So if you're right now watching this on Facebook, or you're watching this on Instagram, and if you're on Instagram, you missed all the fabulous slides that went along with this, I highly recommend you jump into one of my Facebook groups. The links are in the description here on Facebook right now. And if you're over here on Instagram and you're trying to do it, you can simply search my name on Facebook or go to getmorecommunity.com. If you are an actor and if you're a creative person, it's Brian's Breakfast Club. Just type in Brian's Breakfast Club and you'll get that on Facebook. So there's a whole slideshow to go with this. The replay will be there if you want to check out the slides. I spent a lot of time on these slides, so I know that they help teach the message. And seeing that SAINT system spelled out makes a big difference. So hope you'll check it out again. This whole process is really important to me because I hate it when I see creative people racked with playing small and seeing these different stimuluses in their life as a way to make them think that they're not enough. That is heartbreaking. Comparison needs to be a tool that we use. This training today is a way to get you there. So if you watch it on Instagram, I hope you'll check out the slides. And those of you who are here, don't miss out. You're missing out if you're not in one of these Facebook groups, because I share this kind of stuff all the time. So pop on over to one of those two Facebook groups, and I hope I see you all again very soon. And let me know what you think of these slides. I spent a lot of time on them, and I'd love to know. Have a great day, everybody. See you over inside the Facebook group. Be well.